The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Yeomans.
It's a Thursday edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company live from the Star in Frisco, Texas in the SWBC studios. Welcome in, everybody. We've got Josh Rodriguez, Patrick Nosey Walker, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Almost like Chris Beam.
You're Chris Beam.
Chris Beam's in the back.
Chris Yeomans?
We're brothers.
No. We are brothers. We are brothers. I love Chris. We've got Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us, everybody. Still waking up a little bit this morning. It's that middle of the week. Now you're furthest away from football, and you just kind of you gotta get the energy back down the rest of the way.
Gotta get the juice.
You gotta find that juice as the week goes on. Cowboys back on the practice field today as they prepare for that week 2 matchup. We should just start doing a segment on seeing how over/under how many hours of sleep I had last night.
Oh,
these
yeah.
babies.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Last night was a rough one.
All right, let's guess.
Oh,
Let's do it.
last night was a rough one. Over/under, yeah.
2.5.
You said 2.5?
2.5.
Okay.
I'm going to say 3 hours, 3 whole hours.
Okay.
Not at all. He's got 3. I'm going 90 minutes tops.
Wow.
I'm like 45.
No, 90 minutes with no REM.
You said
rims.
45?
Yeah, it didn't hit REM.
Yeah, he
3
didn't hit
hours
REM.
is REM.
45 in the back.
No REM.
45. It was closer to Josh's. It was about 3:15. I got about 3
over
hours,
3.
15 minutes. Yeah.
You hit 15 minutes of REM, dude. You're fine.
Yeah, I know. It
You're
was
good.
fine.
You're solid. You're power through.
Yeah, I'll be all right. But normally, I mean, at this point in time, it was really bad before, like in the off season, it was really bad. But right now, I'm kind of used to like that 5-hour mark.
That's a good night.
Yeah, like if I can hit 5 hours, I'm
Damn good night.
I'm solid.
That's a good night with 1.
Yeah, last night was
Let
not.
alone 3.
Yeah, we get. I usually pretty good. I had a 7-hour last week. It was like, I felt like I was on cloud
And
nine.
you can't really use any like sleep aids because you got to be able to pop right up.
Yep.
And I know that life.
Last week I was feeling a little under the radar, and I had I took some like NyQuil or whatever, the nighttime stuff.
Yeah.
And I slept through like 2 of the feeds, and my wife was not happy.
Yeah.
She was not happy.
Got to be ready
about
to pop up at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Kyle's going to be face down in a bowl of
Quaker Oats.
Yeah.
in the second break.
Can't wait. Let's get some news and notes. Cowboys, like I said, back on the practice field yesterday. They will do so again today.
Yes, indeed. We'll try to break this up into 2 parts. We'll do the injury report up front, and then I'll do the Saints on their injury report on the back end because theirs is long. Cowboys had several rest days for veterans. Brandon Cooks, Edric Kendricks, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Zach Martin. They all had a rest day, so they were limited. Jake Ferguson, as expected, did not participate with that MCL sprain. More on that in a moment. C.J. Goodwin showed up on the injury report with a foot issue. He was limited. Marshawn Nealon, one of the more notable ones, he showed up with a calf issue. He did not participate, so that is something to keep an eye on coming off of that solid rookie debut against the Browns where he had 6 pressures and really impacted the game. So we'll see if he does any work today on Thursday. We'll talk to Mike McCarthy here in maybe a couple hours, and he'll give us an update there. John Stevens Jr., he is making progress. Spoke with him kind of off the cuff after practice, but also monitored him during the media portion of practice, and he is making strides, but not to the point where he's returned to practice just yet. So he was DNP yesterday as well. Circling back to Jake Ferguson really quickly. Ferguson gave us some great insight into not only the moments leading into the tackle, coming out of the tackle, and just over the past couple of days. He said that they thought initially it was a torn ACL, and they told him that was a good likelihood. He shed some tears. It was a very emotional moment for him on the field. He thought his season was over. Ran some tests after the game, and when he was told that his ACL was intact, he basically just let out a deep sigh, and he was just thankful. And he was basically said, if my ACL is intact, then I can work around everything else. Now, and Kyle, you were there as well. He also said that the MCL sprain is not even a grade 1. It's not even grading out as a grade 1. That's how minor it is. So great news there. good likelihood, now the increasing likelihood, I should say, that he takes the field against the Saints. But he did say that it's a stability thing right now. So they're making sure that that knee is as stable as possible because they don't want to risk the opposite MCL, like overcompensating, and then that one gives out. And it becomes a season-long situation that you're dealing with week in, week out. So there is still a chance that he doesn't take the field. But the fact that not only did he dodge the bullet, but from hearing him say that he heard a pop in his knee, going from that and a teary-eyed emotional moment thinking his season was over to having a chance to play a few days later with a mild MCL sprain, Jake Ferguson and the Dallas Cowboys dodged a massive bullet there.
Would you play him on Sunday?
No.
Why? Why is that?
I want to ensure that he's 100% healthy for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Patrick, I thought, outlined it very well yesterday. This isn't December. This is not the divisions on the line, must win. Yeah, you wouldn't either?
I would not play him.
Would you, Josh?
I wouldn't play him. I think the risk of injury, further injury, is sort of in my mind, and I don't know necessarily how that injury works as it is right now. Like he said, is it going to cause the other MCL to have issues? So I'm fine with sitting him at this point. I don't think you win or lose this game with Jake Ferguson, to be completely honest.
I think you've already dodged one bullet. Why try and jump in front of another one?
And again, this is not overlooking the Saints, because we talked about this. Of course, we're going to talk about it more. This is not about overlooking the Saints. This is the fact that we're having this conversation ahead of September 15th for a season that you don't want to end until mid-February.
Yeah.
And this is a Pro Bowl tight end with all-pro aspirations and an all-pro quarterback and an all-pro wide receiver that will help him get his targets because coverages are going to be shading towards CeeDee Lamb. All of that to say there is zero reason to press the issue in week 2. Zero. So if I'm them, I let him rest up for this week, and then we'll revisit against the Ravens, which is a different conversation.
Yes.
Because you definitely want him on the field for the Ravens.
Yeah, that's fair. I was going to say if the coaches decide ultimately that he's ready to go and he feels ready to go, then
well, I love what
I support that decision. You know what I mean? If that's the decision they feel is best.
I love what he said yesterday, Josh. Jake Ferguson did when he said if I'm able to go, I'll go. If I can't play up to the standard, then I'm not going to go. So that's one thing that's in his mind. So I don't want anyone thinking, oh, well, he's,
carelessly going.
He's carelessly saying, okay, well, my knee's fine, I can go, because he did say his pain threshold, his pain limit level has now dropped from 10 to 0.
Zero.
And he said, but even with it being a 0,
10?
Yeah, he said it was a 10 in the moment. Felt a pop, it was a 10. They thought it was a torn ACL. And now, after the swelling is going down and everything, he said his pain level right now is a 0.
He said he tried to get up off the field and said,
get
get
off me.
He told the training staff to get off me. I'm getting up. And then as he was walking, he was talking to the training staff. I thought Fox had a great look at it, like from below them. And he was like, I can cut. And I think he didn't say who said it exactly out of that group, but they said somebody responded was like, if you try and cut right now, you're going to be punished, right?
Yeah,
like you're going to be in trouble. So,
not gonna happen.
I don't think I would play him either. If he is out there, at least limit him. Just pitch count.
You don't need him.
Just sit him.
I agree.
Just sit him.
But we don't make the decisions in this building.
Agreed. There's no reason to play with fire.
No, unfortunately
no
not.
reason to play with fire. It was such a valuable piece is my thought process. You have other guys, right? Yeah. And this is a great opportunity for those younger guys to step up and show that down the road they can be viable in a late December game, in a playoff game, whatever the case may be. This is a perfect opportunity. Not entirely different from CeeDee Lamb's holdout for obviously different situation. But what did it do? Jalen Tolbert stepped up. Jalen Brooks stepped up. Some of these other guys stepped up. Kevontae Turpin and whatnot. Ryan Flanoy. Here's a situation with the tight ends room where you can look at Brevin Spanford and Hunter Lipke in that capacity.
I mean, Luke Schoonmaker. Step up.
Perfect opportunity. Look at your former second-round pick and say, hey.
Say it with your chest.
This is that opportunity.
You're a day early, sir.
Real talk.
To say it with your chest Thursday.
So,
my bad. But
it's perfect opportunity.
Luke Schoonmaker.
I wish we had a one-shot on that one.
I wish we did too.
Yeah. He ain't lying.
Missed opportunity.
He ain't lying. No. So yeah, well, okay. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and let's throw the Saints out there also. Saints have a much lengthier injury report, but we'll keep to the big names. Marshawn Lattimore did not participate yesterday. He's dealing with 2 separate issues, a hip and a hamstring.
Same.
Ooh, that's rough. Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger, he did not participate. He's dealing with a heel issue. Foster Moreau, concussion protocol, limited. He's trying to work his way back. No guarantees there. And then they have, offensive lineman Lucas Patrick. He did not participate with a toe injury. Kalen Saunders, defensive tackle, did not participate with the calf. So they have some notable guys, to say the least, that are dealing with some things coming into this game. Now, again, I don't want anybody taking that as me saying that the Cowboys can afford to play down, because they can't. Just like against the Browns, they need to treat those backups, if the backups play, like, they're all pros, especially for your home opener.
And
After you
even if
lost in January at home in the fashion in which you did.
Even if Marshawn Lattimore doesn't go, they have a second rounder in Kool-Aid McKinstry that I really liked in the draft process.
I love Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
That's a double meaning.
Red. Always.
I'm a grape guy.
You got to mix it.
I'm just kidding.
You got to mix it. You got to mix it.
Who are you?
You mixing
What?
You're mixing Kool-Aid?
Come on.
Red and what?
Well, first of all, you don't have to mix the red. So
No, red is perfect.
Red goes by itself, and grape goes by itself also.
Yeah.
So the purple goes by itself.
purple.
But when you want to get funky, you take the fruit punch and you mix the fruit punch with different variations, like the strawberry lemonade. I'm telling you, man. This Georgia stuff. Now we talking Georgia stuff.
That sounds like a bag of Skittles.
Whose Kool-Aid was so bad that you felt that you needed to
No,
mix
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It just took it from great.
No. If you're
all
mixing
pro.
Kool-Aid, then you had a bad experience. So you were like,
No.
I need to mix it with something
That
else.
was a bad experience. Now, to be fair, we also used to treat Kool-Aid like it was actually candy. So we'd take a Ziploc bag and we'd have Kool-Aid packet, and then we put sugar in it, and
absolutely.
we'd take that to school.
Absolutely.
So we'd be sitting there like it was like
The finger, yeah.
What was the candy?
Fun
that
dip.
had-
Fun dip.
They would treat it like Fun Dip. Only
Yeah.
So absolutely.
What is your favorite Kool-Aid mixture and concoction?
Drop it in the text line.
Yeah, drop it on Twitter. Drop it in the text line.
Yeah.
Send it this
I got to
direction.
school y'all on these
curious.
Kool-Aid combinations.
Do we have the text line on this book anymore? No, we don't.
It's 817 something.
290-3298.
Thanks, Beamer.
817-290-3298.
He was like,
There you go.
memorize that.
Yeah,
Drop
exactly.
your Kool-Aid flavor.
Yeah, what's your Kool-Aid flavor? All right. Speaking of different flavors, there's a flavor. I'm trying to transition here. Flavor of ice cream. Ice cream was pretty sweet. Seeing DeMarvian Overshone back out on it. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. I'm working along with it.
You
did it.
I did what I could.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons had some choice words yesterday in talking about DeMarvian Overshone, and I really did. I liked the quote. He said, or he was asked initially, he was like, whenever Overshone shot out of a cannon in that 4th and 6 sack of Deshaun Watson, did it catch you by surprise a little bit? And Micah said, he was like, I was like, bro, you got people thinking you're faster than me now. He's so fast, he's explosive. And I told him after the game how proud of him I was because me and Overshone grew a relationship last year, and over this time I just kept checking on him. To come out here and perform like that in his first game, his confidence is through the roof, man. He just got me super excited. He's coming downhill with intent. With everything he's got. He's one of the most exciting players I've seen that no one's ever got to see. I think he's going to be an all-pro player. So the prediction, bold prediction from Micah Parsons. Do you
How many points
believe
is that?
that's possible? Yeah, playing our game on pregame live. Do you think it's possible, Demo? I mean, we're one game in, but just ceiling wise, do you think it's possible?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. I mean, why not? Talent is there. His size is there. His attributes are there. Obviously, his smarts are there if he's starting in a Mike Zimmer defense. Really, it's not his rookie year, but you can call it his rookie year. I don't see why not if he can stay healthy. And they know that that the linebackers are featured in this defense. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to make plays like we saw last week.
I know Micah's known for making these bold predictions. Even last year, he was talking about how he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to make the Super Bowl. He's going to be the MVP. Like he was standing on business. Obviously setting high expectations for himself. I love that now he's doing that for his teammates too. Yeah. Granted, he wasn't the defensive MVP last year. I think it's important that he's setting that expectation for his fellow teammates.
Yes, he has the ability to do so for all the reasons that Isaiah and Josh are pointing at. He has the skill set. He has the football IQ. He has the length. He has the mass, the muscle mass, having added some pounds during the course of rehabbing from his torn ACL. He's learning from a former first-team All-Pro in Eric Kendricks, and he has a linebackers guru coordinating him in Mike Zimmer. He has a defensive front that also features guys like Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Osa Odigizua, and he has a secondary behind him that you don't want to test consistently. So there is little to no reason that DeMarvion Overshown shouldn't eventually be an All-Pro. I think he is in the Pro Bowl conversation by the end of this year. I don't know that I put him in the All-Pro conversation by the end of this year, but I could realistically see him being in the Pro Bowl conversation in year one. And it's not unheard of. Leighton Vander Esch did it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's definitely possible.
I'm with you. I think it takes a little bit to be in that pro or the All-Pro conversation.
That's a different talk.
That's different, but I could certainly see a Pro Bowl by the end of this year if he continues to play at a high level. We also heard from Cooper Beebe yesterday. We heard from Trayvon Diggs. I thought Trayvon's moment that he shared about Al Harris and the emotion and what he means as a coach to Trayvon was a big deal. And we've talked about it a little bit on this show, but how important is it? I'll turn to you, Isaiah, since you've been around the league. How important is it to have a connection with your position coach?
It's huge. It gives you all the confidence in the world to not only trust in the teachings that are occurring behind closed doors, but also to have a relationship where you can go out and play freely and uninhibited. I think that is one of the main benefits and one of the main downsides to some players is their actual position coach. You know, what does that relationship look like? And there's no secret that some of the most growth, most of the, I don't want to say whatever, the growth that has taken place at some of these positions on this team, you think about tight end, you think about defensive back, these positions and their position coaches have very tight relationships with their players. Very tight relationships with their players. You talk about even like a Micah Parsons, right? Micah Parsons' position coach wasn't Dan Quinn, but they were click tight. And you take a player who's exceptional already and you link him up with somebody who and have a good relationship with somebody who has an impact on his performance on the field, you're just going to get a better version of that player. Yeah. It's all about the atmosphere and the environment that coach creates. You got to understand that you spend four times, at least I call it 10x, more time in the meeting room than you ever do on the field. And that's what most people don't understand. You know, I got here at 8 o'clock this morning. Players had already been in meetings. Mm-hmm. These guys touch the field for 2 hours a day. Yeah. So, I mean, you're literally meeting for 6 to 7 hours a day, per day. And let's not even talk about OTAs and training camp.
Right.
So understand the relationship aspect and how important that is for a player's development.
I think it's well, not only that I think, I know it's a massive deal to be able to strike that emotional connection with your position coach or just any coach, be it your head coach, your coordinator, whatever the case may be. But to Isaiah's point, and even more so, not only are these guys in these meeting rooms and these meetings with their position coaches for, so many hours a day, but these guys are with these coaches arguably more during the season than they are with their actual family, which makes it it's going to go one of two ways. If there's an awkward friction between you and your position coach, it's just going to get more awkward the more time you spend together. If you have a dynamic bond with your position coach, it's just going to grow. It's going to blossom and flower like what's happening with Al Harris. And not only Al Harris and Trayvon Diggs, but Al Harris and Deron Bland, and now Al Harris and Kalen Carson. And basically everybody that Al Harris puts his hand on, he strikes a dynamic, emotional chord and relationship with. So, and from a player's aspect, look at what Micah said yesterday. It's 100% true. He said he finds himself wanting to please and get the validation of Mike Zimmer. So he's on the field making plays, and then this is Micah Parsons saying after he makes a sack, he'll look over to the sideline to see if Mike Zimmer is smiling. If he is, then it's like, and that's how Trayvon Diggs has to feel as well, knowing that you have a coach in your corner like Al does, and it's a friendship as much as it is, teacher and student type situation. And you love to see that. It makes you want to excel as a player. And then, that feeds the coach wanting you to excel. It's this cycle of greatness.
I think that also speaks to the type of coach that Al Harris is. I mean, the fact that after Dan Quinn's departure, he gets promoted. And on top of that, his connection with the players in general, they know that he's been there, he's seen it. Obviously with Trayvon Diggs and the progression that he's had since he's been working with Al Harris, it's astronomical. Look at Deron Bland. Look at the evidence that you have with the players that he's worked with.
Jordan Lewis as well.
So I think it's pretty evident that Al Harris is an important person, and it of course brings a lot of pride to the players when they're able to make him proud and play well.
Yeah.
He didn't get promoted for nothing.
No. Absolutely not.
He was promoted not only because he excels at being able to convey the teachings, because it's one thing to know and have the information. It's another thing to be able to put that on someone and have them grow. He excels at that, but his person-to-person relationship skills are just sensational because he actually cares and they can feel that it's authentic.
Yeah. I like it. I think Al Harris has already shown so much impact between not only the defensive backs that he coaches directly, but the defenses in general. And I think Dan Quinn benefited from it. Currently, Mike Zimmer is benefiting from it as well. And at some point, some team will give him a shot as a defensive coordinator, whether that's in this building or outside of this building. And I think he'll excel at that too.
Yeah,
he's a phenomenal coach. Yeah. All right. When we come back, it's time for a little bit of QB vision from Isaiah Stanback as he's going to break down what this Saints defense looks like today. Plus, we've got some good answers on this Kool-Aid question. Right? We're going to hit that when we come back with more Talking Cowboys after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does, and is here to help. With digital tools to help you save and local experts nearby, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys. Presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco, Texas. This portion of the show is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, trusted since 1877. You know what you eat Quaker Oats with?
A spoon.
A spoon.
A spoon. A spoon. Got the
wouldn't say
quick
it- I wouldn't
code
say
back
it
down
joke,
by
but,
Isaiah today.
Y'all probably never saw that cartoon, The Tick, so y'all don't get the spoon.
You know what? I used to see the commercials for it, but I never watched it.
Not the live action
blue
one
guy,
that's
right?
on Amazon,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original, the original Tick. There was this. That was one of his like catchphrases. Was like spoon, but you'd have to know it to know it. So don't worry about it.
You got to know it to know it.
If you know,
Just
you know.
like you got to know that you can mix Kool-Aid and be great.
If you're reincarnated as a cartoon character, which one are you picking?
Bugs Bunny.
Batman the animated series.
Wow, you guys were really quick with that.
Tasmanian Devil.
Okay.
Bugs Bunny is finesse.
I don't know.
I'm Taz.
Bugs Bunny is finesse and just
Yeah, he
aura.
is.
Bugs Bunny is aura.
Funny as aura.
He was. Am I lying?
Warner Brothers official sponsor. I don't know.
No,
I'm
am I
I'm
lying?
gonna have to think about that one.
Really?
Yeah, I've never thought about that. I'm gonna have to think on that one. I'll get back to you.
Beamer, who you got?
SpongeBob. That's Kyle Yeomans.
No, if anything, I'd beat Patrick.
With a C.
If anything. Okay, how about this from the 201? Strawberry mixed with watermelon is fire.
Yes,
Okay,
it
yes.
is. Yes,
Okay,
it is.
that sounds pretty good. I would try that. Blue raspberry Kool-Aid mixed with the lemonade Kool-Aid.
Yes.
That's Mike from Maryland.
Yes, that's a legendary mix right there.
You got really excited.
Yeah, because I had a flashback.
Mike, taste it.
Mike from Boston.
Taste the air.
So good with it.
Love the show. I used to like mixing grape Kool-Aid with red Kool-Aid. I got all jacked up on Kool-Aid and then would play sports all day long through the summer. Cowboys 30, New Orleans 27. Mike just decided to throw it all in one text.
Because he's all jacked up on Kool-Aid.
He's all jacked up on his
There's
Kool-Aid.
a restaurant out here that has really good Kool-Aid, by the
I
way.
didn't know restaurants
What?
sold Kool-Aid.
What restaurant?
There's a chicken and waffles place
Oh,
right here.
okay. All right.
Cereal King?
No.
It's a real one then.
Nope, chicken
All
and
right.
waffles spot around here.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
My favorite Kool-Aid is the blue raspberry with lemonade.
See?
There you go. There's
I
vote
typically
number
don't
two.
like the lemonade
It's
ones.
a goat combination.
I'm okay with
But
it.
fair enough. Fair
I'm
enough.
okay with it. But if you want to get freaky with it, take fruit punch flavor and mix it with orange pineapple juice instead of water.
Whoa.
That guy gets
That's
it.
just-
That guy
That's
knows.
Mario from South Texas. He
Mario
definitely
knows
gets it.
ball.
Yeah.
Mario knows ball.
Legal drugs.
That's
also
that's my
knows-
guy, man.
He also
STX
knows
Mario.
diabetes.
That's
Jeez.
STX Mario.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
guy, man.
that's-
Yeah,
yeah,
Mario
he's
knows
legal
ball.
He's a real one.
He knows.
Anthony from Seattle's also a real one. He says
course
favorite
he is.
Kool-Aid flavor is red all day, every day.
That's right. C-Town, baby.
That's it.
Not even sure what the exact flavor is, but I
It doesn't
always
matter. It doesn't
always
matter.
Red.
It's red.
Red
It's
is
red.
the flavor.
That's
It's
right.
red.
That sounds like a Seattle answer. I like that.
You said I don't even know, but it's the best.
It's very, very Pacific
I'm
Northwest.
riding with it.
I was more of a Capri Sun family. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Excuse. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, Richie Rich.
My papa has a Rolls
Richie
Royce.
Rich. All right.
Time for some
just like straws.
breakdown of the Saints defense by one Isaiah Standback with some.
Wide 80. Wide 80.
It's time for QB Vision with Isaiah Standback.
Brought to you by Kool-Aid.
Is that you, by the way? Are you doing the white 80?
That was I.
That was you.
Yes.
That was your signal.
The man
I,
Doug
had
over
him,
there.
I took him in the
Yeah, he
Douglas
took me to the
studio,
Douglas studio
last year and said, all right, I want
Yep.
you to give me a snap count. Go.
That was it.
It was really funny. His daughter was with him, too, that day.
Right. I need to bring her back.
Yeah, you
She's
do.
making an
I miss
appearance.
her.
Come on, Sky.
I know.
The Saints.
And Nadia. Both of them. They're
yes.
both. They're great.
The Saints defense has a lot of names, a lot of respectable names
Okay.
from around the league.
Boom.
The main person I'm going to highlight is right there in the middle of the defense, number 56, middle linebacker, Demario Davis. He's a dude. He's a dude. I always like to point out the dudes because if you don't have the dude, you don't know the dude, you're going to end up the dude. So
You're gonna learn.
you're gonna
learn today.
You're going to learn today. So you have to be able to acknowledge who that guy is as the man who runs their show. He is their emotional leader. The other emotional leader that they have is right there on the defensive front, number 94, and Mr. Cam Jordan. Okay, it's not Cameron. We don't call him Cameron. We call him Cam Jordan.
Cam Jordan, almost a Dallas Cowboy, by the way. Do you know that?
Did not.
There was almost a trade, player for player. It was going to be Morris Claiborne and Cameron Jordan. That was the trade that was in talks at the time.
Wow.
That would have been nice.
Just player for player.
I mean, In hindsight, most certainly.
Yeah.
Well,
In hindsight.
Cam
Sorry.
Jordan's a dude. He's a dude at
Yes,
the
he is.
defensive line position. So they have dudes at every level. So you have the D line, you got Cam Jordan, middle linebacker, they got DeMario Davis. As you go to the safety position, you got the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. He's not what he used to be, but he'll still come up and hit you in the mouth. He still possesses that aura, that swag about him. I actually spent some time with him this past summer at broadcast boot camp. He still has that confidence with him. And then on the outside, somebody that you have to respect, who obviously is on the injury report, is Marshawn Lattimore, the cornerback, number 23. Those are their dudes. Okay, even though they have guys that have had success in the NFL, this defensive scheme is not putting them in positions to necessarily do anything amazing. Joe Woods is defensive coordinator. This is his second year doing so. I need to go back and watch a little bit more from last year because the bite size that we have from last week necessarily wasn't the greatest because of who they were playing. Okay, their opponent wasn't necessarily the most dangerous opponent that you could face there. The Carolina Panthers, they had their way with them. They were able to get some pressures, get some turnovers, all the things that you would want. But I'm not sure of how much of their actual ethos was present in that game last week. But from the film that we have for this year, because defensive coordinators change every year, they were pretty basic in their looks. And I wish I had a lot more depth to give you guys like we did last week. But these guys they like to run too high shell. They like to keep everything in front of them. They do a terrible, and I don't want to say this because they're probably listening, but they do a terrible job of disguising coverages, disguising blitzes, disguising coverages. They're awful. I mean, they're awful. If I had to make a bold prediction, if they ran this week what they ran last week, Dallas scores 40 points.
Smoked.
Oh, 40 burger.
40 burger.
You're putting 40 burger on the table.
If they run what they ran last week, again,
they
didn't have to do a lot last week.
No.
So I don't know how much, like I said, of who they truly are was actually on the tape. But in terms of what we saw on the tape, too high shell, they'll mix it in with some single high cover 3. Whenever they play man-to-man coverage, they'll try to make it look like they're not playing man-to-man, but all you got to do is look at one of their defensive backs, and he is locked in like this. He's not looking at anything. Okay, so there's always my offensive coordinator back in the day used to always tell me there's always somebody that's going to give it away. Actually, Tom Brady used to say that a lot too. There's somebody that's going to give it away. You can scan across the whole defense. Everything could look, nice and mysterious. And then there's that one guy's like, there you are.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was that the Water Boy where they did that? Who was it? Yeah. Was it the Water Boy? It was like, there's my. Yes.
Yes.
It was the Water Boy. It was the Water Boy. So there's like somebody's going to look like they don't know what they're doing, or somebody's so focusing on their job that they don't understand that they're supposed to be having some smoke over here, right? So very simple. Dak should be able, based upon what I saw last week, should be able to pick up their blitzes relatively easy. If they have a blitz on, which Claypool does a terrible job. No, what was I going to say? Claypool? Am I tripping? Not Claypool.
I was supposed to say Chase Claypool?
Not Claypool.
Plays defense now?
Sorry. What am I thinking? Who's a DN I'm talking about?
Chase Young?
I always call him Claypool. They look the same. Chase Young.
You ain't wrong.
Chase Young's another name, but he's not doing anything. He didn't do anything last week. His pass rush is subpar. His when he drops out into these zone blitzes, they drop him out. He's the defensive end that they're dropping out. They're not dropping out Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan's always coming for the quarterback, but he doesn't have a lot of moves. It's usually just a power move on the outside. He should be perfectly fine. Terrence Steele should have his way there. But Chase Young will stand up, right? If he's in a track stance, he's literally just standing there with his knees almost locked out. Like there's no disguise that I'm coming. I'm bringing pressure, right? And if you see him standing like that, then probably just look to the other side, and there's probably a decent defensive back that's lined up over your slot that's looking in at Dak Prescott like, I'm not coming.
Right.
No,
it's not me.
Stop looking at me.
Don't look over here.
I'm not coming.
I'm not the mic.
And if you look behind that guy, there's usually a safety stacked right over the top of that guy. So their disguises, based upon last week, were terrible. And unfortunately, Bryce Young still couldn't pick it out. He still was unable to identify it, and they got smacked up because of it. They will run some combination coverages where they run cover 8. They'll run a cover 4. Cover 8 is cover 4 on one side, cover 2 on the other. That is probably the trickiest thing that I saw last week. Every so often they'll run an invert cover 2 where they'll take their take their safety and roll him down to the flat instead of the cornerback playing the flat, being a flat defender. So that's all basic stuff for guys at this level. It was just a matter of just opening up your eyes and seeing it, because let's really just line up and play. Based upon what we saw last week, they put it on the film against the Panthers, and I'm sure they'll have a much more diverse package against Dak Prescott because he's a much better quarterback.
Yeah.
If they do that same thing, we'll be eating Whataburger in here on Monday morning.
I like that. Patty melts are delicious.
Yeah, I can make that happen.
Delicious gravy with the fries.
So I wish I had more. I wish I had more depth there. I wish I had more to say about some of these players. These are older players that are proven, but they're not what they used to be. But if you run across, they will hit you. Cam Jordan will hit you, right? Chase Young will hit you.
And I like Brian Bresee up front, too. Brian Breese's a first-round pick out of Clemson a couple years ago. Like, he's a legitimate threat.
Throw him in there. Throw Carl Granderson in there. Granderson had 8+ sacks last year. Defensive back-wise, Adebo had 4 interceptions, so, he can hawk a ball.
But their coverages, when it comes to coverage, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
On some of these coverages, right? Cover 4, right? Your responsibility as a defense, as a cornerback, and as a safety is to not allow anybody behind you.
Yeah.
Right. So when they run cover 4, when they run cover 8, and that half of the field is the cover 4 portion of it, these guys are allowing receivers over the top of them.
And you know what? And the Cowboys have at least three receivers who can get over the top. And CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Kevontae Turpin, if they unleash Kevontae Turpin in that capacity as well. So, I mean, the Cowboys have the personnel to really apply stress to that secondary. And all you got to do is block it up front. And I have a ton of confidence that they can do that, having seen what they did against Myles Garrett and Dalvin Tomlinson, Zach Martin's one miss notwithstanding, and Shelby Harris, and who's my other guy opposite Myles last week? I'm blanking out. But
it didn't matter.
To go facts. To go against that front and to play well as they did, this front is definitely solid, but it's not what they saw in Cleveland. Yeah. So they should be able to block that up, and then then the pressure has to come. They're going to have to send another guy or another 2 guys. And Dak Prescott, throughout his career, has done exceptionally well with identifying and kind of carving up the blitz. So, yeah, I mean, advantage Cowboys on this one. And not just to say that because they're at home, but also because they're at home where typically they're hanging 40 points on guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think you were talking about Zadarius Smith.
Zadarius.
Okay. And I think that the Cleveland defensive line was a lot better than we're facing here. I know Bresee, I mean, he's good, but I'm saying I think the advantage would go to Cleveland as far as defensive line goes. I think we're going to chop them up, man, especially when you have a linebacker. I was looking at some of the tape with Pete Warner, number 20 for the Saints. I feel like he bites
they're not disciplined. Yeah, they're not disciplined.
No. I don't know. Something tells me that Dak is going to eat him up. Yeah. I think we're going to chop him up.
This is a very undisciplined defense, and their scheme is simplistic from what I've seen. Simplistic scheme, undisciplined. They have a number of big personality veterans that if you start beating them up, they are probably going to turn and start chirping at each other. Yeah. I just think that it's not a proven team. If again, this game is going to come down to can our defense stop their offense, because their offense is going to be dynamic.
They all have that Tyrann Mathieu discipline, right?
Yes.
Just a dog.
Yeah,
all or nothing.
They got some dogs now.
All or nothing.
They got some straight. When I say dogs, I mean you get into it with these cats. It's not who you want to be one-on-one with in an alley, because they got some cats that got some heart now, some fight and some bite to them. But collectively, they're not playing as a unit.
But also, and I don't think, and you're right, they have a lot of guys with that attitude and that demeanor. But you mentioned Chase Young, and I've not seen that from Chase Young over the course of his career.
There's a reason he's not in the 49ers.
Right, he will take plays off.
Yes.
First of all, he would take plays off, period. But if you start pulling away from them and he can't,
he shuts it down,
impact the game, you will start to see him just play after play, just half effort. He's just collecting checks at that point. Yeah.
So let's chop it up by the 3 levels. Who had a better defensive line, Cleveland or New Orleans?
Cleveland.
Okay. Who had a better linebacking core, Cleveland, New Orleans?
Cleveland.
You think so too, Zay?
JOK?
By name?
You think it's close?
By play.
Yeah, okay.
Close, though, right?
Yeah, it's close.
Even if it's 51-49.
It's close.
Yeah. Secondary, Cleveland, New Orleans.
Oh,
I would go with
Cleveland. It's Cleveland.
Based on last week's game, I would go with New Orleans.
Really?
And a big part of that was Alontae Taylor. The fact that he, at the slot position, was rushing the quarterback on 3 attempts, got 3 sacks. I think that to me is alarming in that, like, you can have
But it was
some
so obvious.
hybrid.
It's so bad, man. Like,
So had that not been Chase Young,
exactly.
they might not
It
have
would've-
hit.
it's bad.
They're not mixing
It's
the
bad.
Kool-Aid. They're not mixing the
And
Kool-Aid.
Not Chase Young, I'm sorry,
I
Bryce.
don't want to make. I don't want to see. I mess up the names.
Yeah.
I don't want to pass too much judgment. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because again, if I'm playing against the Carolina Panthers, I am showing you my preseason defense,
Preseason looks,
and that's good enough. So we may not. I'm almost 100% sure we're going to see a completely different scheme against the Dallas Cowboys.
It's a week-to-week
It's a week-to-week thing, right? You change up based upon your opponent, but I don't believe that they have the personnel nor the pass rush to cause any kind of drama for the Dallas Cowboys. And I think against this particular front, I think Dallas can honestly get the running game going. And once you get the running game going, then absolutely everything opens up.
Well, I don't think, and I do think I know it's a week-to-week league, and you might see an entirely different approach from this defense in New Orleans coming to Dallas to face the Cowboys. But I don't know that they'll go from 0 to 100 real quick in that capacity as far as disguising. And even if they were capable of doing so, what defense has Dak Prescott been going up against every single day in training camp?
Mike
Zimmers, the one in the league that arguably has deploys the most number of disguises. So in that capacity, they'll be fine.
And he passed test number 1 in Cleveland.
Yes.
Isaiah in this segment last week was talking about how much there was a disguise ability in Jim Schwartz and whatever he ends up doing from a play standpoint. It is not always the same post-snap as it is pre-snap, and Dak did a really good job of dissecting that throughout the week. All right, when we come back, I want to shift the focus to the run game. I want to talk about how important is it to find a run game in week 2 to have some success and possibly build toward that 40 burger that Isaiah and Josh think is possible in week 2. We'll talk about it right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time. But what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this segment is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. From the 502, grape Kool-Aid with lemonade. Another lemonade-sponsored Kool-Aid mixture.
You expand your horizons, my brother.
No, I've tried it. What do you mean? I have lemonade all the time. I can't.
We're saying you have to mix with these
I mix
flavors.
it. I'm just saying lemonade
your bonds.
Lemonade is just not my bag, but that's all right. That's all right.
Not your jam.
More power to
Listen
you.
up.
How much would we have to clear out all these laptops for a Say It With Your Chest tomorrow with just like pitchers and pitchers of different Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And then we just start mixing. We just have like a Kool-Aid bar in here. I'm sure Beam would love it.
You should do it for the matchups. You know what I mean? So it's like we're our pick'ems, but each flavor, like the Ravens would be purple, and then
That's a phenomenal idea.
right?
That's a good idea.
And then you drink whichever Kool-Aid.
Every team would be red for me.
The team that you're picking.
Hey, listen!
Until it
Shout
stains
out,
your shirt,
shout
because
out
ain't
to
no getting that out.
to Talkin Cowboys Nation. Yesterday we put out a little challenge out there. We dangled something out there, right? And somebody went ahead and grabbed on it, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. Keep on going, Isaiah. Keep going.
Push through.
Keep going. Keep on rolling.
Anyways,
All right.
Talkin Cowboys fam out there, thank y'all for answering the call. Listen, one person answered the call and shot us a design.
Hey.
Did they really?
Somebody, I can't show it yet, but I'm going to give the person a shout out, all right, by tomorrow. Okay. So if y'all have more designs, bring them our way. But there is one person that submitted something, and it came to me via my Instagram. I am Standback. Okay, shoot it to I am Standback. You know what they told me? They said that they can't even message you guys. That's what they told me.
Oh, my messages are
That's
open.
what I was told.
They can totally message.
The individual told me that
DMs are open.
They said that you're the only person that I can message out of everybody.
you're a married
Isaiah.
man.
Said,
Not true.
That's crazy. So I'm just saying, I can't.
You're a married man.
Listen,
Sorry.
But anyways, I have received one message and one design, and I can tell you what, the design was fire.
Yeah.
You haven't even shown us yet.
I haven't. I can't show you yet. The design.
Can we see it after the show?
Fire. No, I'm representing it in a special way.
Oh.
It was fire. So if you guys want to send some more designs, y'all bring your A game, because I tell you, the one submission we have is going to be hard to beat.
See, there's another one from the 252 on this text line. I didn't have the text line up yesterday, but I have it up right now, and it says it right here: Kyle, Pat, No C, Josh, Isaiah. So I guess he gave you two. Pat, No C. He said, "What's the address? Because the person I know here owns a website right now, designs her own T-shirts, and she wants to enter the competition.
Hey,
let's go.
And one or three XLs, one medium, and two XLs. 1 3XL is what he said.
Yeah.
Sorry, the typing here is
One
kind of
3X, one medium,
and two XLs.
and three XLs.
3XLs. Because
Who's a
Beamer in the
medium?
back.
Patrick? Jesus,
Pat's
No C.
man.
You see No C with the shoulder
Yeah,
boulders?
look at that.
The boulder
The-
shoulders over there.
The
on, man.
address.
Listen.
The address is
The fitness
And
plan
your baby
does
teeth.
what it does.
Hey, listen. Go ahead. Say the address.
the address is 1 Cowboys Way, Frisco, Texas 75034.
Bet.
And just put my name on it because I'm in the building.
Shout out to my guy No C. I asked him for a list
Yes.
of anime for my son, because my son's getting into anime, right? We're talking about that. And No C shot me a list over him, and he said I shot him a picture of myself and my son watching anime last night. So we started based upon the list that No C gave us. He shot me a picture back of him in the gym. Ooh. He said, "You wasn't with me eating in the gym."
It was 9:00 last night. I had to get up and get it done because it was a long day yesterday of work and everything, and I had finally got settled in. It was like 8:30ish, and I was like, "Damn, I haven't gotten my today's a gym day yesterday," and I was like, "I haven't gotten it in." So I'm sitting there on the bed, and you already know when you're sitting on the bed, you're like, "Yeah, this is not gonna happen." And I was just like, "Stand up." I said to myself, "Self said yes." I was like, "Stand up."
Get on
so I
up.
stood up. And Self was like, "You're already standing. Go to the gym."
Get up there. I like it.
Go to the gym.
My gym has been the yard the last couple days. I've had to hit the yard.
Does it look
pretty
good?
Hard. It's all right.
Hey, that's cardio.
All right. It's not as good as it once was. In the spring, that thing was on point.
You want to know a fun fact about
clippers and everything?
Fun fact?
Are you a yard guy?
I kind of am a yard guy.
We talked
I like
about
going
this
to I like going to the landscaping
did talk
place.
about
Like yesterday, was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday. I actually took my daughter. We went to the landscaping place and just looked at plants.
Red Kool-Aid and a green thumb. I like it.
I got a couple more plants. If you guys have plant ideas, shoot them
Stop
my way.
it.
Hey, listen, they were throwing bamboo
We're throwing
ideas.
too many things.
Listen,
love
Talkin
bamboo.
Too many things
Cowboys
going on.
family.
Chinese
is
bamboo.
golden.
5 years of water,
listen,
4 years of water.
I was
in the
run
fifth
game.
year.
Our Talkin Cowboys fans and followers are goated.
They're
Yes,
incredible, and
absolutely
they want to
goated.
hear about if it's imperative to stop the run. Isaiah, yes or no, or to find the run game?
Yes.
Find the run
It's not
game.
imperative.
Okay.
It's not imperative, but I think that this is a game where you definitely try to you intentfully try to get that ground game going. I think you have 25 carries on the ground.
Okay.
Absolutely. Get Zeke involved, and then also Deuce. Give me 3 to 5 carries with Deuce, please. And thank you.
If you had 5,
No Lipke?
Sure.
Well,
Lipke's in there.
Lipke might have some tight ends.
If he has 10 carries, how many yards does Deuce have?
10 carries for Deuce. I'd say 55.
If Lipke has 10 carries?
No. Deuce.
Oh, if Deuce has 10.
Which is also
he's not
just
getting
as
10.
unlikely, probably.
He's not getting 10.
Unlikely, but 55-ish.
Okay. Tutty?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd give him a touchdown.
Yeah, I would like to see
Get him in the
this.
screen game.
I would like to see this run game take another step forward.
Saints are gonna throw about 10
Absolutely.
screens.
But I'm with Isaiah. Is it imperative? No. It's imperative against a team like the 49ers, right? Because you're managing time of possession. Looking at this Saints defense, you need it, but it's not going to be the game breaker one way or another. What's going to break the game over is this passing game for the Cowboys and being able to protect up front.
Dalvin Cook active Sunday?
Not yet.
Not yet. Still ramping up.
Yeah.
Mike talked about that a little bit yesterday.
I feel like the earliest for him would be, now I could be surprised this weekend, obviously, but I think the earliest for him would be versus Ravens.
Okay, week 3.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Sit him for another week, have him kind of ramp up, see what happens.
Yep.
Over or under, the Saints run 10 screenplays.
With Alvin Kamara?
Over.
Period.
Just in general, probably over.
Over.
They're going to run
Over
a
10.
lot.
Over 10.
Way over.
They're gonna. I don't know about way over. That's good. 10 is a lot.
10's a lot.
Like 11
60
or 12.
plays on offense, 10 plays.
So
they're gonna be screens.
One out of every 6.
Yeah. 11.
11. I'm kind of thinking like 11 or 12.
Price is right.
Closest without going over. Appreciate you guys having some fun with us today here on Talking Cowboys. We'll bring the Kool-Aid tomorrow. We'll also bring the hot takes. We've got to say it with your chest Friday here on Talking Cowboys.
That's right.
Get you ready. Of course, you can be a part of our fan pick'em segment tomorrow. 888-855-2297 is the phone line. Be sure to save that in your phone. Say Talking Cowboys, and then see if you can follow up what Nebby did in week 1 from a fan standpoint. For Chris Beam, Isaiah Stanback, Josh Rodriguez, Patrick No-C Walker, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long from Talking Cowboys. We will see you tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!